everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Storm Stranger and I do story times every Sunday. Make sure you subscribe to my channel, like this video, share my videos. So today's story, I'm kind of gonna stick to like the school theme since my last two videos were how to deal with bullies and my bullying experiences and where else does bullying happen? It happens at school mostly. So I'm going to give you guys a little story time. Jesus. I'm gonna give you guys a story time about my high school and my middle school, mainly my high school experience. So today I'm gonna start off with freshman year of high school. The reason why I'm gonna get into that is because I didn't go to a regular high school. I went to a hospital school. No, not to study or to be a doctor or anything. I went to a school that I had to basically get an education at the same time as constant 24-hour care from nurses and doctors to keep me alive. Because if you're new to my channel, I have something called Conradi-Hunnemann syndrome. I don't want to say I'm the longest living, but I haven't heard of anyone else with my syndrome. So if you know anybody or you have it, please let me know in the comments because I really like to know the people. But this video is going to be about how I basically went to a school, a high school that was filled with all ages. It's kind of weird to say, but I'll get into it. So the title of this is Going to a Hospital School. This school is it's kind of a private school. You can only attend if you are terminal, really sick, or are constantly in and out of the hospital and don't have enough time to go to school, a regular school. So if you watched my last video last Sunday, I talked about how I was bullied a lot. I went to public schools all the way up to 3rd grade where I had to repeat my 3rd grade, and I went into a Catholic school. I'll talk more about that in my last video, so if you haven't seen that, click around here somewhere and it'll direct you to that video. I went to a Catholic school, and then after that I went to 2 middle schools, one in Florida and one here in Colorado. And I will put some middle school videos in there as well because I've had crazy middle school experiences. One of them I actually spoke about in one of my story times, which you'll click around here and you'll find the link to that, and it is how I almost got kidnapped, and that took place in Florida at my middle school. But once that happened and I left, I came to do the 8th grade at middle school here in Colorado. I completed the 8th grade. After the 8th grade, I was in and out of the hospital during most of the summer. I had multiple back surgeries. Towards the end of the summer, I was still kind of in the hospital. I ended up going home, getting released from the hospital, feeling a lot better, and I was getting ready to go and start high school. I started at this high school, and I'm gonna name it because I didn't go there for very long. I don't care, whatever, but it is George Washington High School here in Colorado. So if you go to George, go you guys were my school for about a week and a half, 2 weeks. So like this video, subscribe if you go to George Washington High School. If you're watching this, leave a comment. I would love to get to know my little Colorado people. So I went to George Washington High School, and I have just gotten out of the hospital, not even like several weeks before that. I have bandages still on my back, wounds that are still healing with stitches still inside my skin. I went for my first day. It was cool, I guess. I saw a lot of my friends from my middle school there, a lot of my enemies there. I never really fit in middle school, so like, of course I'm not gonna fit in high school either because I'm an awkward, weird kid. So as I'm going to this high school, I complete about first week I go. It's fun, it's dandy. Then around, I'm really bad with timelines, in case you haven't noticed. I'm really bad at remembering certain timelines, so when it comes to telling you guys when a certain time happened, it probably didn't happen at an exact time because my brain is just, you know, I'm 32, I've been around for a while. My brain is dusty sometimes. give me time. Around the second week, I was going to school and I've attended all my classes. By now, I've kind of learned my way around. I've met new people. I've kind of created new friends that I probably wouldn't be able to keep. I don't know how to keep friends because I'm fucking annoying and I don't blame people for not wanting to be my friend, so. One day, I go to school like a regular day. I don't know what day it was. I don't know what month it was. I'm pretty sure it was actually around this time, September. It was around this time, I'm guessing, because I've only been there for about 2 weeks and school usually starts at the end of August, beginning of September. And I am attending all my classes like normal, and then my dad ends up coming and he checks out my back, lets out a big sigh, and says, we needed to go to the hospital. This whole entire time I've been walking around, my back was completely broken and I thought I had pulled a muscle. I didn't think anything of it. And what the people saw was a big ass lump on my shoulder. Obviously it was not normal. I ended up going to the hospital and they looked at me and I had to have surgery within the next 12 hours. Scheduled my surgery, had the surgery, and then as I'm in the hospital, you know, the school year is continuing and I can't sit in a class all day. I can't be taught at a public school. How am I gonna get my education? This hospital has a place that has a separate building attached to it, and it's basically they hire teachers that are actual teachers, but they also have mostly nurses that are actual nurses, not those dinky little school nurses you'll find at your public school that doesn't even know what the fuck she's doing. I don't know what just happened. Back to the story. What was I saying? So I was told that I had to go to this little hospital school. I had to spend however long it takes for me to heal and get back to normal until I was normal again to go to a public school. Fortunately, I ended up spending almost 4 years at this hospital school, and I'll make a separate video after this getting into that because I was able to spend my last year, my senior year, which I repeated at an actual public school, and that'll be a separate video, so stay tuned and I'll get into that one. Anyway, so I'm going to this school, and this is not a normal school. Now there's like a lot of different age kids. Like it ranges from 5 years old to 20. At one point, this hospital was at the old hospital. They had a small one room with basically everybody of all different ages from 5 to 20 in one room learning totally different things at the same time. So I'm over here sitting next to an 8-year-old while I'm trying to do some fucking algebra and they're struggling with fucking addition. Like, bitch, do you want to trade? Because I'm not down with the fucking shit that I have to learn. And that was kind of really hard, and it's weird to think that all these little 8-year-olds that were 8 years old when I was 16, they're now like 21, 22, 23 or something now. That's just, it blows my mind. But at this time, I basically had to adapt to this school. It wasn't regular high school. I didn't have pep rallies. I didn't have cheer squads. I didn't have sports teams. I didn't have field days. I didn't have any of the cool things that you see in movies that people normally experience in high school. And yes, I had drama because I had my little clique of friends. Excuse you. Yes, I had drama because, oh my god, can you not? Jesus. Am I popular now? Do people start to love me? I had to adapt to this school, and being the person I am, I've always looked up to like Sharpay Evans, Regina George, Gabrielle Montez. If you don't know who those people are, you don't know your fucking movies. Basically, High School Musical, Mean Girls, like I've always loved the high school life that was toxically portrayed as back in the 90s and 2000s. Don't follow those. That's not the standards you gotta meet up to, because it's definitely not how high school really, I don't think, is. I can't really say, I can't sit here and be like, yeah, high school's this way, because I didn't get 4 years experience at an actual high school. I only got 1 year and it fucking sucked. The first technical 4 years of my high school experience, I was sitting next to somebody significantly younger than me, and therefore I had to make friends with people of all ages. And I did stick with my own friends who were also the same age as me. It was just a really different environment. So when people question why I don't know why I look so young, maybe just because I feel young, and I don't mean to act young, but I am 32 years old and I am a late bloomer. When I was 16, one of my good friends was 8 years old. They're now like 22, and it's crazy to think because I have friends now that I didn't know before that are 23, which if we were friends in a different time, they'd be 8 and I'd be 6. So it's like age at some time, it does matter. And I'm not saying be a 16-year-old and go hang out with an 8-year-old because that's fucked up. But if you're put in a position where there's no other way to get out of it, like you have to make friends with this person, and I don't want to hate on them because they're young. I had to grow up with a very young group of people. These people weren't the healthiest. If you attend the school, you're most likely either terminal or almost terminal or just recovering. So we would have really I'm about to get really kind of depressing here, so get the tissue boxes because I don't know if you're gonna cry or not. Most people do when I tell them this. It's kind of fucked up, but in this school, kids were not only taught the academics and like the stuff you need to learn in school, also needed to learn how to deal with grief at a very young age. I watched 6 and 7-year-olds watch their best friends die, and then they had to grieve and get through it, and it was very hard. The thing is when you go to this school, it's not like if you're missing a day, it's not like, oh, where did little Johnny go? Is he sick? He had to stay home from school because he's sick. No, if you're sick, you're gonna come to school because this school is, if anything, it's a hospital. It's gonna treat you better than any at-home treatment would. So if little Johnny's not there, you automatically think he's in the hospital. And that's as far as I want to go, thinking what happened to this person. But sometimes that's not where it goes, and we have to have little meetings. So the older kids kind of, you know, they know the vibes. They know when we have to sit in a dark room in a circle and there's tissue boxes in the middle on the table. We know what the fuck's going on, but these little kids don't understand. And then when the teachers break the news that little Johnny passed away last night, he's not gonna make it to school today, all that kind of stuff, and little Johnny is just a name. No, that's not the name of somebody I went to school with, but it's very hard to lose anybody at any age. But watching another kid suffer through a loss of their friend, and that hurts so much. At a very young age, I had to deal with multiple deaths for about 4 years, and it's become like a normal thing, and I've never actually ever gotten used to death ever. It's always hit me and very hard, but I've gotten used to kind of getting over it better and not letting it destroy my life, and just know to keep going for those people. That's the kind of school that I went to, so it's not pep rallies, cheerleaders, and all that. I didn't get to really live out my high school dream until the last year of high school. And the last year of high school, I actually had to repeat my senior year of high school, and I will get into that later on in a different video. And then I attended high school here in Colorado. It was my senior year, and I actually graduated at 20 years old. I don't know if I still am, but I'm pretty sure I was like the oldest person to graduate from my high school. I don't know if this was 12 years ago. I'm not ashamed of it. At the time, I did get a lot of shit for it. Going into a school that everybody's already clicked up, you know, they've known each other for 4 years, and then all of a sudden this random bitch with the last name Stranger, who's 19 years old, about to turn 20, like, why the fuck is she here? And then, you know, my best friend ended up being a sophomore. Cause like I said, I'm so used to hanging out with the youngins. I didn't stop watching Disney Channel. There's a fucking bug all the time. I didn't stop watching the Disney Channel until I was probably like 23. I was addicted to that shit forever. So I'm a kid at heart. I'm still young. I don't know, thanks to genetics, that's why I look young, I guess. Yeah, that's pretty much my story, my experience, my high school experience that I had. Yeah, thank you guys for watching. Please like this video and subscribe. Leave me a comment, let me know how old you are. I want to know what my demographic is. I want to know who's watching my videos. I know there's probably a way I can look it up, like online or something, but wait, I'm not smart enough to do that shit. So just leave a comment, let me know. How old are you? Like, I want to know who I'm talking to. Thank you guys for watching. Catch me on Twitter. I will put the link below, along with my Instagram and all those other social media shit. There's like thousands of them, but I'll put them in the description description below. Yeah, thank you guys for watching. That's my video. Stay tuned for next week on my next video, basically talking about how I don't even know what I'm going to call the video. Like, comment, and subscribe. Storm out.